So my favourite werewolf movie of all time is the fantastic, superb Company of Wolves. Company of Wolves came out in 1984 and it is a wonderful retelling of the Little Red Riding Hood myth, told through the dark lens of Angela Carter, as told in her collection of short stories, A Bloody Chamber. This book is one of my favourite books of all times. It just takes fairy tales and twists them in a dark, delicious, beautiful way, and it is incredible that Angela Carter, working with Neil Jordan, managed to translate that onto the screen, and they did. Company of Wolves is probably it's definitely my top 5 films of all time. It's probably my favourite film of all time. I just love it. I could talk for hours about it. It is a delicious mix of fantasy, fairy tale and gothic. It is amazing. What's clever about it as well, the film, is it's not just the Company of Wolves tale. There's a series of 4 vignettes that are mixed into the story, told in tales in the film, and they're based on stories also to be found in the collection. So they're all about wolves and werewolves in different ways. So you've got that whole continuity through the film. You've got a really notable cast. Top of the bill has to be Angela Lansbury as the grandmother. She's only 59 when she plays the grandmother, but she comes across as everybody's favourite idea of a grandmother. I first saw her in Picture Dorian Gray, which is back in 1945, and of course then she went on through Murder, She Wrote. She's become an icon of the TV and movie screens, and her role in Company of Wolves is perfect.
Once upon a time.
Then you've got David Warner, fresh from trying to kill the Antichrist as Red Riding Hood's father. You've got a cameo by Brian Glover, straight out The Slaughtered Lamb.
That's my boy.
You've got Misha Burgess, who plays the huntsman. He also later had a role in Interview with a Vampire, also directed by Neil Jordan. And of course you've got Danielle Dax. In one of the vignettes she plays the wolf girl, and that is a very well-known little piece amongst the goth world. Beautifully done, a really touching vignette, and Danielle Dax does it superbly. And then of course you've got the 2 girls. You've got the elder sister, played by Georgia Stowe, who was in the BBC adaptation of E. Nesbit's The Enchanted Castle in the late 70s. Hard to track down, but a lovely programme, well worth tracking it down if you can. And finally, of course, you've got Little Red Riding Hood, as played by Sarah Patterson. A really convincing, stunning performance. It's a real shame that she didn't do many other films. One of her few other appearances is as Snow White, and then she goes quiet for a few decades, and about 15 years ago she appeared in a sort of art house programme, and that's it. So you've got some important names in there, names that are linked with other sort of genre pieces, and they all play a great role. I mean, David Warner as the father is so dry and realistic.
Seeing is believing.
Now, it's about the Red Riding Hood story, and the Red Riding Hood story has been seen as a myth about menstruation, the oncoming set of puberty. I've mentioned it a few times during other werewolf movies because it is where we get a lot of our werewolf imagery from, and this film plays on that. In the early part of the film, the grandmother refers to Red Riding Hood as child quite a lot.
Gran, can I have one?
I don't see why not.
Ugh. Ugh.
You've got a lot to learn, child. Never stray from the path, never eat a windfall apple, and never trust a man whose eyebrows meet.
And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing a woman awakening to her sexuality, awakening to the fact that the village boys are just idiots. That is the interpretation of Red Riding Hood by Angela Carter writ large, and it's played out beautifully on this film. What's also interesting is the character who plays Red Riding Hood, or Rosaline as she's known in the film, also plays the devil's chauffeur in one of the vignettes. I'm wondering if that's a little subtext that could be explored a bit further. In fact, this film is so rich in symbolism and subtext, it would take ages to unpick it all. Nearly every line is carefully crafted. It reflects the language of fairy tale. It has those little lines, those little one-liners that you hear time and time again, reinforced.
Maybe.
Maybe what?
Maybe once upon a time.
Are you going to tell me a story?
Maybe I am.
Go on then.
What's nice about the whole film is the portrayal, the sort of semi-peasant lifestyle. It's delivered really well. It's got that coarseness that you get in early fairy tales.
And she found another husband, not too shy to piss in a pot.
This is sort of the earthy coarseness that really reflects the nature of that sort of situation, the nature of the language of the old English peasantry, and it comes across really well. And in another one of the vignettes you have the opposite. You have the aristocracy celebrating their wedding, celebrating a wedding and feasting, and then a girl who has been used and abandoned by the Lord comes in and upsets the feast. And what's nice is all the people who are doing the waiting, all the servants, they're on her side. And they, at the end of that little vignette, they all raise a glass to each other and cheer. Nice touch. The whole subtle undertones in this is absolutely brilliant.
If the child is born on Christmas Day, if he's born feet first, he'll be the one. If he's born feet first and his eyebrows meet in the middle.
Now, of course, it's a werewolf movie, so you'll expect some transformations. These are done well. It's a real case of shedding the skin, the wolf within, the beast within, the wolf, the man that's hairy on the inside. It looks painful. It's done really well. I think they stand up to the transformations that we've seen since. It's not a straightforward film. It's a film within a film. So there's an opening scene and a closing scene that's set in the sort of near modern day, and then the girl goes to sleep. She becomes Rosaline. But the dream interferes into the real world as well. So the two aren't completely divorced. You're not sure if it is a dream or if something's coming back to claim her. There are elements throughout the film that are fairy tale, surreal. At one point, Rosaline climbs a tree to find an egg with a baby, a little ornamental baby in it, and some red lipstick. There's other scenes where they're going through the forest, and the mushrooms are obviously not real mushrooms. So there's a lot of symbolism, there's a lot of ingenuity in the way that it's been put together, and that's what just keeps you looking at it. Keeps you trying to work out what's next, what's happening, why was that there? Because every little piece seems to tell a story, seems to have a meaning. So that was my number one, my favourite werewolf movie. Was it one that you would have put in your top 10? Were there films in my top 10 that you would have expected to see and are disappointed they're not there? This will be it for Werewolves for a time. I'll be heading back into more normal territory, down the ghostly paths of folklore and folk drama. So until next time, take care. Don't stray from the path.